All right, let's see then. Let's hope that we're actually live. Looks like we are. Let's just tell everyone that we're here. All right. Happy weekend, everyone. So, Saturday now. We've just had our second round of eSports action. Not eSports, Monday League action earlier this week. And this is the replay for Tier 3. Nurburgring 24-hour layout uh, is the track that we're at today, the longest track on the calendar by quite some margin. I think there was 180 odd corners. I don't know how many there are. Actually, let me double check. Maybe I was wrong about that. Um, no, I can't find it. But yeah, longest track on the calendar this week. Let's go through who we've got. You'll remember the standings from last week. Actually, they changed a little bit because there was a few stewards reports. So let me go and grab where we're at for the start of week 3. So after all of the stewards results came in, we had Captain Eli on 38 points, 10 points clear of 3 drivers. One of them was Marty, who won the feature race. He's a reserve and isn't taking part because we have all 16 full-timers taking part today. The other one was Pyro, who got a second and a fifth in the end, lost his second podium due to a penalty, and Scotty as well with a fifth and a second on 28. And then just slightly behind on 24 was Jack in his Jag, and then on 18 points, Higgsy and Morgaffer. 17 points for Wack, who really could be at the top of this standings, but didn't manage to have a good one. And then we had Kling Beast, Spin, Gunmad, Cherry, Hulked, Deco, Skycloud, and Sarge making up the rest of the standings in that order. So I'm just going to get the quali results up from this one. I think we saved them. There was a real glitch in the qualifying. Well, it wasn't a glitch. It was a new feature that PD introduced for Nurburgring specifically, but they didn't actually tell anybody that it was a new feature. So they add 10 minutes onto the end of qualifying now. Yeah, there was a big waiting period after after qualifying for everyone. But let's go through what everyone, where everyone kind of shook out at the end of qualifying. So let's go down the grid a little bit. So we got Mo Gaffer in 16th. He set an 8-minute 43-second lap time. So really disappointed. He must have had about 3 or 4 spins with the lap time like that. 31 seconds off the pace and 17 seconds off of P15, who I do know had a problem. It's our championship leader, Captain Eli, in the Z4 with an 8-minute 26. So again, not the greatest. You want to be at least in the teens, if not in the single digits in the 8 minutes in qualifying here. So not a good qualifying for Captain Eli. He was 3 seconds back from his own teammate Tap, who's making his first run this season after missing round 1. So the Z4 is having the worst of it in qualifying. Will be trying to make their way up the grid. Then we've got Cherry in 13th in his new Ferrari. So this might be a car that is in last place by the time turn 1 comes, because the 3 behind him are very quick off the line. 8-minute 21 for him. And then the 2 ahead, we're in the 8-minute 20s. We've got Gunmad in the Jag. And we've got Whack Jamps in the Citroen. So Whack having a really good qualifying last week, not having a good one this time. Neither of them able to get under the 8-minute 20 mark in qualifying. So all these people probably having off-track excursions somewhere in the lap. Then in 10th place, so top 10, remember top 10 are reversed for the feature. So if they can stay here, they will get reverse grid pole at least. But 10th place is 7.7 seconds off of the pole position time with an 8-minute 19. This is Skycloud in the first of the M6s, followed by Pyro in the fastest Citroen. So not a good qualifying for the championship leaders in the constructors side, the Citroen boys. So they really need to make some progress and keep their noses clean in this sprint race. 2 laps on this sprint race. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to make your way through for sure, but it can be done if you just stick with people. Another one in the 8-minute 19s, everyone pretty close in this gaggle of cars, is Spin in the other AMG, so managing to finish 8 places ahead in qualifying of his teammate there. Then we have Sarge, who had an absolutely terrible opening round, didn't score a point, I don't think. 8 minute 18, so just a second quicker than everyone behind him. The three drivers behind him manages to get up into 7th in the Nissan GTR. Only 3 attempts behind Higgsy in the first of the Audis. So this is 6th place for Higgsy with an 8 minute 18.4. Then we've got a little bit of a gap to the top 5. So the top 5 all doing at least 3 seconds quicker than everyone, at least 4 seconds quicker, sorry, than everyone behind. The first of them is Jack in the Jag, which is pretty fast around here. It's quite good on the high-speed circuits, the Jag, so expecting him to be able to convert this into a good result again in the hunt for the championship, of course. Then we've got Deco, who had a terrible round last time, managing to get all the way up into 4th place, so really redeeming himself in qualifying there in the Audi, the lead Audi, actually out-qualifying Higgsy as well. Now, for the top 3, we've got Scotty, who is in the other Ferrari, so he's going to have a little battle on his hands to try and keep his place in the top 3, especially at the beginning of the lap. In 2nd place, we've got Kling Beast, a much better qualifying for him in the M6. So Scotty was in the 13s, Kling Beast was a 12.5, and on pole position with a 12.1 is Hulked in the Nissan GTR, so really solid qualifying there for Hulked. Another one who didn't have a good opening round, but maybe Nurburgring brings out some interesting results. Some people really gel with it, some people really don't gel with it, and it looks like Hulked is one of those that has gelled with it pretty well here, so he gets that bonus point. Just before we start, give the stream a like, please, before we get started, so that we get more likes than all the other streams on HLR, and it looks like we're the best tier, because I think we are, in terms of comms anyway. So yeah, like I said, we got 2 laps only for this. It's going to still be longer than most sprint races, because it's going to be about 16-17 minutes. The weather looks interesting, a little bit overcast. I don't know if it rains, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But there is no water on the water gauge here. I know there was some wet weather in the other tiers. So let's get going. Let's see if Hulk can keep this position into turn 1. 5 lights on. Round 2 is up and running. Looks like a decent start there for Klinger. And a poor start there for Scotty is followed back. Jack all the way up into 3rd already, as everyone's going to head into a really tight turn 1 and 2, which might cause a few incidents, but Hulk looks like he's taking it pretty nicely. Kling and Jack pretty close together in a battle behind them. Scotty up in 4th. Spin is battling with him. And then a little bit further back, we've got Pyro up into 6th, Sarge 7th, Higgsy, Mo from last to 9th. Captain Eli with a half-second penalty up into 11th. And Deco all the way into last place. So I think we need to see... Oh, someone's in the wall there. So Spin, Scotty and Deco really close together here. And Deco is going to try and take the long way around. He gets a little nudge. And is he going to lose it on his own here? Higgsy makes a bit of contact and then whack hits him as well. He's spinning around and he gets going. Not too bad for Deco, but let's go back and see how Pyro got from 9th. I think he made a couple of positions here, so I think he just took advantage of the carnage. Remember, Pyro joint second in the standings. He did get a double podium in the previous round. Look how quick the Citroen is off the line, but he's caught on the outside here, which usually is not where you want to be. He lets few of them get ahead, manages to not be side by side with anyone going around this corner, gets bumped by his own teammate, nearly loses it, and manages to get past Higgsy and all the carnage happening, so he's up 3 places into 6th. But back up front, it looks like Hulk is going to come under a little bit of pressure from Jack. And we're still in the infield section. Everyone's kind of settling down a little bit now, but everyone's still pretty close together. Captain Eli up into 11th with a half-second penalty tap, up into 14th. Gunmad and Deco are the ones struggling towards the rear, so we'll see how that shakes out, because I don't think that's going to be the only spin that we see in this one. Jack putting a lot of pressure now on Hulked. And what could Hulk do with this? This is not, to be honest, I don't even know if I've ever commentated Hulk's up before this season. I know he's pretty quick at certain tracks. Sometimes he has a bit of a clanger. Really quick in the Group 1 cars. So is he gonna find a little bit of that magic and actually come away with a sprint win against a bunch of drivers who I don't think he's raced before either? Usually they've been in higher tiers than him, including Jack here, who's trying to put pressure on him, but he's not able to get that close to Hulk at this stage. A little bit further back as we enter the Nord for the first time, Pyro putting some pressure on Spin. Now this is a bit of a dangerous part of the track to be really close to someone. Not everyone has the same braking zones here. Looks, you can see Spin braking a little bit earlier than Pyro into that braking zone and getting a better exit as a result as well. A bit further up, oh, Scotty's got into the wall. He doesn't have any damage, but this is going to allow Spin and Pyro and Sarge to catch up a little bit to him. And Jack actually coming under pressure now from Kling. Now this is a flat out section. Kling did actually lift a little bit there, and it looks like Jack went a little bit wide and he's all wobbly here, so this is going to be Kling's opportunity to get P2 off Jack. He's got a half-second penalty as well, so he must have gone a little bit too wide. And this is a track where a half-second penalty really penalises you a huge amount. They both brake enough for the corner. Jack keeps the position for now. This is great news for Hulk. Scotty is starting to drive away from Spin again. Looks like Spin is causing a bit of a queue here, and a little bit further back, Captain Eli has got past Higgsy with his half-second penalty. He's got a bit of a queue. Kira is still in 10th place here. A little bit further back, Whack, Tap, Gunmad, all pretty close. Mo's had an issue. He's all the way down in 15th with damage, and Deco is still cut off at the end, so he must have had a second issue there. So through the tight and twisty Nordschleife we go. We're up near the top of the hill at the moment. This should be flat out, but Hulk is lifting. He doesn't want to risk going a little bit wide there. And he is starting to build a decent gap. He's maybe got a second and a half on Jack at this point. Jack complaining a lot during the week. Oh, nearly going off on his own there about the Jag not enjoying the curbs. But I'll tell you what, the FR cars like the Jag will be enjoying the curbs a lot more as he keeps going on off track every single corner here. Creating a bit of dirt for the tyres, but still just about comfortable ahead of Klinger. Top 7 all pretty close together here. Then you got Captain Eli starting to drive away from Higgsy a little bit. Again, Higgsy's in one of those MR cars, which isn't going to enjoy the curbs as much. But when it gets to the back straight, that Audi is going to be very, very quick. Maybe be able to get a couple of positions if he stays close enough. As we head into, this is maybe my worst corner, the one that Higgsy's going through now. Just before you start going up the hill, which is a really long flat out section, even though there's loads of corners in it. Really important to get right. Higgsy got it right enough. It looks like Cherry's going to try and catch up to Kira here up the hill. Let's see what she can do. A bit wide there for Kira. Is she going to go defensive here? It is possible to try and get a move done, but this next corner that's coming up, which is a really fast left-hander, you do kind of need to lift through it, especially if you've got dirty air. Very easy to go off track on the right there and go straight into the wall, but they all look like they avoided that. Looks like Scotty's made a position over on Klinger, so what's happened to Klinger? Is he going to be a victim of this corner that we were just talking about? I think so. Also, Spin is still holding off Pyro. There we go. Yeah, he just clipped the curb a little bit, Klinger, and Scotty's going to get past fairly easily there. Up into the podium positions for Scotty in that brand new Ferrari that has just been added to the game. And now he's got a big queue of cars behind him. He's got Spin trying to go the outside. We're going into the first carousel on the lap, and Scotty's Spin's caught a little bit wide up there, but he still manages to take it all right. But yeah, it looks like Klinger's got a bit of work to do now to try and keep these guys behind. But there's basically not a good overtaking point for the next minute or so. So Klinger does have the advantage here. And what can Pyro do? He's stuck in 6th place, where he was at the end of turn 2, actually. And he's got a good opportunity here because Captain Eli is 2 spots behind him, and these were the 2 that were fighting at the front for the entirety of Montreal. So the question is it going to be these 2 fighting for the championship? Scotty's not too far behind them in the actual standings himself, and he's up in 3rd right now. And Jack as well will be closing the gap to all of them. And remember, Eli's got that half second that he actually got at the very start of the race as well. Pyro going a bit wide there, but nothing too bad. But Spid's starting to get away from him a little bit now. Let's go a bit further up. Let's see how is Hulk's lead looking. Well, we can't see Jack, so Hulk's is really dialed in right now. This is the section of the track that a lot of people don't know that well just before you get to the back straight. And Hulk has just created a huge lead here, so this is definitely his sprint race to lose. Scotty keeping Jack honest. He might actually be able to get Jack on this back straight and get himself up into 3rd place with that half-second penalty. So let's ride on board and see. Oh, a little bit of a rubbish carousel there for Scotty, though. Let's let Jack drive away very slightly. Now, half a second. Is it going to be enough for Scotty to get this position? The Jag's got great acceleration, but when it's in 6th gear, it's not that strong. The Ferrari does keep accelerating in 6th gear quite well. Not the outright best car, but I think this should be a fairly straightforward position for Scotty here. Yeah. But Jack should be okay from Klinger behind him, because he's got a bit of slipstream he can take advantage of now. Captain Eli was comfortably ahead when he served his half-second penalty of Kira. So Kira's actually made her way up into 8th ahead of Higgsy, and Cherry is 10th now. Looks like we've got a side-by-side between the 2 helpers, Tap and Wack here. This is a very tricky one. Yeah, Tap backs out of it, gives Wack the position. A bit further up, Cherry and Sarge battling for that final position as well. So Sarge, who qualified decently, has had an issue somewhere. He's dropped outside the top 10. And he's only got 1 more lap to try and do something here. Cherry going ultra defensive into turn 1. Now Sarge can swoop around the outside. He's got the ideal line into turn 2. And Cherry gives him plenty of space. They are still side by side. Now the next one's a left-hander. They're still giving each other plenty of space, but I think Cherry might have this one sewn up with this next corner. Oh, they're still side by side. This is some good fighting here. Now, is Sarge going to chuck a little dive in for this next corner? He can break super late for this one. Oh, he did break super late, nearly collected Cherry. And it's pretty much as you were. A bit further up now. Jack's still not too far behind Scotty, and Pyro has dropped off a little bit from spin, and Captain Eli really close behind him now, so we might see a little battle between these 2 once again, like we did in week 1. Hulk's coming into the last corner of the GP track, about to enter the Nordschleife again, and the gap has definitely shortened. Hulk's had a much bigger gap than that on towards the end of lap 1. So I think Scotty is on an absolute charge here. He has dropped Jack a little bit as well. So it's not necessarily over in terms of the race win. Hulk needs to keep his nose clean for sure. Jack a little bit off track again. Really not enjoying the Nordschleife section is Jack. And Klinger trying to catch up to him as best he can. And everyone's still pretty close, so a big mistake by anyone will cost them many positions. I think it's only Kira who's up into 8th, with Higgsy right behind her, where the gaps start forming. Sarge is ahead of Cherry. Cherry might start dropping back now. Wack and Tap really having a rough one here, as well as Gunmad, Mo and Deco, who is really cut off at the end. His first lap at 9:01 compared to an 8:13 for Hulk there. Now, what can Captain Eli do? He needs to really finish ahead of Pyro. We don't know who's actually going to be in championship contention, but you need to go with what the standings look like as it stands. Really good recovery from 15th to 7th already for Eli, from 9th to 6th for Pyro. Spin having a really good race in this sprint as well, it's got to be said. And I do wonder how good this Z4 is in terms of around the Nordschleife. It's another one with really good acceleration, so this section of the track should be ideal for it. Mind, I think you could say that about most of the cars that are in the top positions there. Pyro with a big mistake here is giving an opportunity now to Captain Eli, who goes super wide and just gifts that gap back to Pyro. So a bit of a get out of jail free card there for Pyro, because Eli could have put a lot of pressure on him there. And we've seen a change in position between Jack and Klinger. So what's happening here? Looks like not really much pressure's being put on Jack at all. He just goes wide again. No, he gets away with that one. This is full throttle, this section, but he just goes into the wall and nearly loses, collects Kling as well. He's got damage in... Wow, that's some unique damage. I've never seen the front left and the rear right have damage and not the other tyres. So he's going to lose a bit of ground now to Klinger, and he might actually get caught a bit in these next few corners by Spin. Spin might be aware that he's the car in front of him has a bit of damage. But you can see Jack, he shook off the damage now as we start going up the hill again. So that might be his podium that he's kind of thrown out the window there. But he's still on for some good points. But yeah, this is really good news for everyone ahead. So Hulk's approaching this really fast corner, which I want to see every car go through, because I think about 3 or 4 of them are probably going to go into the wall. Right here. Big lift for Hulk. He's not taking any... Little lift for Scotty and for Klinger. No one feeling confident to take it full throttle at all. Pyro pretty much full throttle though, and Captain Eli as well. And it looks like Higgsy's got past Kira again into P8. No one's got penalties on this lap though. Higgsy just closing off, holding off Kira, and Sarge in the top 10. Cherry's not actually too far behind, so still has a chance of getting a reverse grid pole. Tap must have had an issue somewhere. He's quite far cut off, as is Mo and Deco, so everyone here is having an absolute nightmare in the bottom 3. Oh dear. Anyway, where's the battles? Jack off track again, and he's got damage again. The fact that he's still in P4 is quite amazing, to be honest. The thing is, Jack is very, very quick round here, which is why he's getting away with it. That's the thing. And Spin's going to catch up to him, and then the damage is going to disappear again. And then Jack's probably going to hold him off, because we're nearly at the back straight now again. There's just a few tricky sections and the carousel, and then we're on the back straight. Captain Eli really close to Pyro again. These guys could potentially bump their way past Spin if they wanted to work together, but I don't think they're going to want to work together. It's interesting to see where people break for that corner. Okay, let's go back, because I want to show you guys something. So, you can see here, we're approaching this little bump where every car kind of flies over it. So, and these guys are braking before they land. So as you can see, the brake, that's where he landed, but he was already on the brakes before he kind of flew off. So I always brake after I land, go down into fourth, and then just take it. It's like the cars can handle it, but everyone braking a little bit early on this one, so they're losing a bit of time. Whoa, nearly lost it there. So round the carousel goes Hulked, and Scotty and Klinger, all pretty close. Then there's a massive gap back to Jack. Going through the carousel now, with Spin pretty close. I think he's in slipstream range. Pyro and Captain Eli, all pretty much within slipstream range. With Higgsy starting to drive a little bit away from Kira, who's going to have to hold off Sargent as they're going side by side into the corner right before the back straight there. But Kira gives that one up. So let's see what's happening. Is anyone close enough for a move? Pyro is closing in on Spin for P5. Is it going to be enough? Spin looks like he is actually driving away from Pyro there. No one is that close, actually, apart from these two. And as soon as he pulls out, it looks like it's going to be difficult to get the overtake done. Kira's got her nose ahead, as I've already missed the actual race win. So let's go back up to the front and give Hulk his dues here, because this was lead from start to finish after a really good pole position. And we'll have to see if it was good enough for the fastest lap as well, but he didn't put a foot wrong to take his first win of the season in Tier 3 against a really tough group. Scotty in P2 and Klinger in P3. Jack holds on to 4th despite getting lots of damage in that one. Spin 5th, Pyro in 6th in the end, Captain Eli in 7th. Higgsy managed to pull away from people and gets 8th. Then we've got Kira in 9th. Cherry actually gets reverse grid pole. Something's happened to Sargent there because he was trying to get P9. So let's see. We actually left just before the accident, so is it an incident? It is very tricky around here. So it looks like he gives Kira this position and then just gets his braking wrong anyway. Completely self-inflicted. And he loses reverse grid pole as a result, which is huge. And he's going to have to start 11th. So no points for Sargent in the sprint race, likewise for Wack, who's had a completely anonymous race here. Gunmad in 13th. Tap is going to finish 14th on his first race of the season in that Z4. Then we have Mo, not too far behind in the end, managed to catch up. Him and Tap managed to catch up to the back of the grid a little bit in 15th. And Deco still isn't on the back straight here, so he's having an absolute mare. Oh, and he's in the wall again there. What's going on? He's won a Tier 3 championship before, Deco, so we know he's capable of competing. He qualified in 4th place for this one. Just had, I don't know, a big lapse of concentration in this sprint, so he finishes 16th there. And we're going to go and find the feature race now. Now, when I was looking a little bit earlier, I couldn't see the feature here, but I could find it in the search function, which was a bit weird. So I might have to do the old content search. There it is. Isn't that weird? Because they were both Gunmad's streams, but one I could find in my friend's replays and one I couldn't. Now, are we going to see rain in this feature, I wonder? It can actually rain quite a lot this season. It can rain next week at Red Bull Ring as well. We're going to have a definite wet race at Autopolis, which is going to be really interesting. Okay, tyre time. So the 2-stop is possible, but it's not quicker than the 1-stop. So I do expect everyone to be doing hard, medium, or medium hard. Higgsy is on the mediums, and I think. Oh, and Tap's on the mediums. Everyone else is on the hard. So we have to watch out for Higgsy at the start of this 5-lap race for our feature. Cherry starting on pole, just ahead of Kira, and Higgsy in 3rd place on his mediums. So he will have a significant advantage at the start of this. And he's already looking a little bit hungry for that position, trying to go the long way round to get P2 from Kira, and it looks like he's going to get it, and Eli is going to actually get past Kira as well, who got caught a little bit on the outside of turn 2, loses that spot. So really good start for Captain Eli, who was leading after the end of round 1. And Higgsy is on the mediums, going to try and close this gap to Cherry as quickly as possible in this GP section, because once we get into the Nordschleife section, it is a lot more difficult to get a pass done. A little bit further down, Pyro and Kira having a little battle. Kira's going to win this one. So Pyro's going to have to slot in just behind. Jack is ahead of Spin at this early stage as well, but let's stick with Pyro because he's looking really close to getting this position sorted. Actually has to give Kira a little bump through the S's there. A little bit further up, Higgsy has caught up to Cherry. This might be a great opportunity in this next braking zone to get the position. A lot of people brake a little bit too early for this one. And Cherry holds him off. And now we turn left to start the Nordschleife section. Kira's still ahead of Pyro. Very, very close between everyone. Jack's super close as well, so let's ride on board with Jack, as we can see everyone in the top 5 from his point of view. And yeah, all 16 drivers snaking around together at this stage. Pyro a little bit wide there, he's off the track. Jack's going to get that position surely. Oh, yeah, really out of shape there for Pyro. And now Jack's gone a little bit wide. Spin's going to be queuing up to try and get past at least one of these. As we go up the hill. Let's see how everyone tackles this double right-hand corner here. Lots of people go a little bit wide. They all seem to make it through all right. Kira makes it through. Jack, Pyro, and Spin super close together. Hulk's a little bit off track, nothing to worry about. The top 12 all together, and then there's a big gap down to Gunmad, Mo, and Deco, with Tap a little bit further, well, a lot further back, so something big has happened there to cause them to all have issues. Scotty's down in 12th as well. So actually, let's go back and see what's happened. So Scotty was in 9th. Sarge right behind him in 10th. Hulk actually lost a position in the GP section. Scotty backs out of it early. Is he going to lose a bit of traction, maybe? Well, okay, loses one spot there. Gunmad and everyone else is still pretty close behind. Tap's still in 14th there as well. So there's going to be some drama somewhere, surely. Hulk and Sargent pretty close together there. Just a second, I think my door's going. It was Amazon. Right. Anyway, we're trying to see what happened to Scotty. And to Gunmad and everyone. So, it's whack actually. Oh, Gunmad's off track there. And Tap span around. So this is what... So this is where the carnage happened. So Gunmad goes off track on the left there. Wack gets past him. Tap spins on his own. Everyone else is crawling around there. Scotty's still in 11th, so he hasn't had his problem yet. Is it up on the hill? It must be. He must be going wide on the hill here. Yeah. So he's crawling around the corner because he lost traction. And Wack is just going to get that position fairly easily. So Scotty, who did so well in the sprint race, having a rotten feature race so far, hulked up into 9th, as everyone ahead of him is pretty close together now. As we're at a super high speed section of the track here, but not a part of the track where you can really do any overtakes, despite how close everyone is. Tricky couple of corners here, very easy to just go at a very high speed over some of these bumps and spin out if you take too much speed into the corners. But it's very much as you were. Now let's see if Hulks can maybe pick off a couple of positions here. He didn't have to do any overtaking so far this week. And he's having to just settle in on these hard tyres at the moment. A bit further up, Higgsy on his medium, still stuck behind Cherry as well. Cherry on his hard tyre. So Cherry starting this one, having inherited reverse grid pull at the very last second of the sprint race, is putting a good account of himself here in this feature so far. Let's go down into this first gear corner. Not many first gear corners on this track. Now this might be Higgsy's chance if he's feeling brave. He looks like he's trying to go for it. Tries to wrong foot Cherry, but Cherry was wise to it. And Higgsy really early on the throttle there on the uphill section. Higgsy really needs to get past Cherry as quickly as possible because he could build quite a big gap. There is a decent gap ahead of Eli right now anyway. Cherry's still doing pretty good here, responding to the pressure. Now we go on the fast uphill section. Higgsy going for the bump draft by the looks of things. Now, are we going to see any dramas on the fast corner? Let's have a little look. Big lifts. They are on the hard tyres trying to get through it. Looks like Captain Eli a little bit off track before turning the corner. Still gets through. Jack gets through. Kira gets through. Spin does. Looks like everyone's made it. Pyro's lost a position or two here though. He's lost a position to Hulked. There is a huge traffic jam here. Hulked's off track. Slots back in though where he was. And Sarge is in this battle as well. Oh, Pyro's completely off the carousel. And he's lost that extra position, so he's down to 10th now. Really bad start to this feature race for Pyro. Scotty's worked his way past Wack at least. He's up to in 11th, but he is starting to close in on these guys because the speed with all the traffic is not too quick, which is still allowing everyone ahead of Jack, basically. Jack is at the head of this traffic jam. Eli is starting to drive away and starting to catch Higgsy and Cherry. Higgsy's still camped up behind Cherry as well. I thought Higgsy could have potentially won this race, but we're already quite a way through this first lap on the mediums, and he's still not got past Cherry, so it might be a little bit difficult for him when he has to go on the hards later in the race. A little bit off track there for Higgsy. But surely... Oh, Cherry's off track now himself. And now Higgsy's surely going to get his way past. He has got a nose alongside through the carousel, and he gets that position before we enter the back straight as well. So if he really attacks this final corner, he's not going to be caught by Cherry on the back straight. He's going to lose the slipstream already. And now he's got at least one lap. I don't know if he's going to try and do 3 on the mediums to really push as hard as he can and build a big lead. You got Cherry in P2 getting caught a little bit by Captain Eli here. And then you got a huge gaggle of cars behind Jack. You got Kira trying to get past, really close to getting past, but I think they're doing a slipstream. Then you got Spin trying to defend from both Klinger and Hulked here. No one going for the move at all. Klinger's going for the move on Spin finally. And Klinger's got it. What's Spin going to do? He's out of shape here. He needs to avoid going into the wall. A little bit of contact and he's around. Manages to avoid Pyro there. Oh dear. Right. We need to watch that again. So, from Hulk's point of view, so everything's all right at the moment. Yeah, that's Spin's fault, unfortunately for him, I reckon. Turned in when Hulk's car was there and turned himself around, and a good start for Hulk has ruined that one. Scotty up into 8th ahead of Sargent. He's already caught up to this main pack and got past Pyro, who's going to try and get it back again. So a bit of a recovery for Scotty after a poor first lap, but he managed to work his way back up to where he started in 8th place. Or was it 9th? I can't remember. Pyro getting past him though. Scotty might be quick on the exit. No, he's going to lose the spot to Sargent potentially as well. It's really tricky, that turn 2. I hate it. To be honest, the endurance layout is better than this one because of that one single corner, in my opinion. And Pyro gets ahead of Scotty, so Scotty's got to try and get past him again. Hulk's not really driving away at the moment. Let's see what the gap for Higgsy's looking like. Maybe 2 seconds at this point. Captain Eli getting stuck behind Cherry now. And again, basically Captain Eli's in the same position that Higgsy was, apart from he's not got a tyre advantage. And if he can't get past Cherry before the Nordschleifer section, his chances of winning this race over Higgsy might be in trouble a little bit. Is he going for it? He is. Is he going to make it stick? Cherry's got the better line on the exit. They're going to be side by side again. And that acceleration on the Z4, I think, is going to close the door on Cherry having P2. So that was a crucial overtake for Captain Eli in terms of his prospects in potentially winning this one. So Cherry, our pole sitter, settling into 3rd right now. Still a good way ahead of Jack and Kira, so he should be able to maintain that gap if Jack keeps having his off-track excursions. How's everyone settling in? Pyro's stayed ahead of Scotty here, and the top 10 are quite a way ahead of P11. Wack is heading off Mo, Deco, then there's Gunmad, Spin, and Tap at the end. Everyone P11 to P16 aren't that far away from each other, I don't think, but they are cut off quite a lot from the top 10, so unless there's something really strange that happens, I think everyone in the top 10 currently should stay in the top 10. We might see some 2 stops though. We'll have to wait and see. Cherry keeping up pretty decently with Captain Eli here in his slip. Klinger queuing up behind Kira, trying to get past as well. They are teammates, so is there going to be any team orders here in the M6 camp? Yes. And Klinger has been released. Now, is Hulk going to be able to get past as well? Because she did lift. He's going to try... No, he's backing out of it. I think that was wise. It's another part of the track where... Oh, but she's gone deep. And keeps the position. That's great for Klinger because he's going to be able to drive away from these two a little bit. And Hulk's not able to get past. Only one line through a lot of these corners. He's going to try and go the long way around this next corner. I don't think that's going to work, but Kira has to brake to give him space. He goes off track. And can't do it that time. Sarge trying to keep up. Then you have Pyro. Hold on, there's been a big issue with Scotty. Okay. So Scotty did get past Pyro. Something's happened between Scotty and Pyro. Because Sarge has got past both of them. Now what is happening here? Scotty goes completely off track. And into the wall. Now he's going to try and get going. Here comes Mo, here comes Wack, here comes Deco through as well. And another big mistake in this feature race for Scotty. This might be big for his chances of the championship. He's going to lose a spot to Gunmad as well. It serves me right for saying that the top 10 should finish in the in the top 10. So that promotes Mo into 10th. Pyro's back up into 9th. And Sarge is having a great feature race. He could have been on reverse grid pole. But he started 11th, he's up to 8th now, and he's trying to catch Kira, who's just been overtaken now by Hulked, who's just managed to hold it. So Hulked up 4 places now since the start, up into 6th. The next one for him to try and chase down is going to be Klinger. And everyone, 2, 3, 4, and 5, are pretty close together at this stage. No change in positions though just yet, and Higgsy absolutely marching off there with quite a big handy lead actually. You can't even see P2 in any of these shots. He's probably got about a 5-second lead, I'd guess. On his half-worn mediums now, especially on the rear. Everyone making it through all right. What about these three? They're super close together. Dirty air around that corner. They still make it through pretty decently. And he moves into the braking zones. Not quite. I think Klinger's just lost a position. Has he? No, he hasn't. Klinger's, oh yeah, Klinger got past Kira and is now with this group of people. So Higgsy's not going to have enough fuel to do the 4 laps. I think it is possible to do 4 laps with massive fuel saving if you want. I don't think the mediums would be able to do that anyway on most of the cars. But that's basically what you want to do if you want to do softs in this, because the softs will only last a single lap. Eli is starting to drive away from Cherry a little bit now as well, around this section of the track. So it might be a straight fight between Eli and Higgsy for who actually wins this feature. Eli's going to come into the pits and come out with fresh mediums and try and chase down Higgsy. If he can. I think a lot of the hard runners, well, some of the hard runners might try and pit at the end of this lap, and some might try at the end of the next lap. Depends how good they are on the tyres, especially when they start to wear down a little bit. Ooh, Jack nearly sending it off the track again. It's pretty much as you were between those guys. Hulk's pretty much on his own. Kira and Sargent together. Pyro has Mo chasing him down, so Mo's having a decent feature race here in his AMG. The AMG is pretty strong around here, to be fair. And Pyro a little bit all over the place. So the Citroens are not going to end this night in P1 in the Constructors like they started in P9 and 11. It's just not going to be good enough for them. as we head onto the back straight again. Higgsy pretty much on his own there. I don't think Eli's going to come under any pressure. Cherry is comfortably ahead of Jack, who's got Klinger fairly close, but not close enough, I don't think, for a move. I don't think anyone's close enough for a move here. Mo's actually lost a little bit of ground on Pyro as well. Deco up into 11th, ahead of Whack. These guys are the closest, actually, in terms of positions. Now, they need to work together, I reckon, to close the gap a little bit on everyone in front, because it's such a long straight. You can gain multiple seconds by doing this, especially with a 3-man slip. Higgsy's into the pits. It looks like it might start raining. Captain Eli takes the lead of the race. Jack in second, Klinger is in third. So no one trying the 3 laps on the mediums by the looks of things. Whack is coming in, so he's going to try the 3 on the mediums, as is Pyro. So they're going to try and get a big undercut. Same with Scotty. Higgsy coming out of the pits. Is he going to come out in traffic, though, on his hard tyres? That is the question. Because if he does, this might be a gift for Captain Eli. Tap, who is Eli's teammate, is only a second or 2 ahead of Higgsy. So this is going to be the battle to watch out for, but let's see what's going on a little bit further up. So Mo just ahead of Deco. I wonder if Mo had an issue there, because Deco wasn't this close to him. Or is that just because of the slipstream that we saw and the bump drafting? It looks like Deco's got ahead. Oh, he got a little bit of a bump from Mo. That was a bit naughty. If I was Mo, I'd be giving that position back. But he's up in P7 for now. At the front, Eli's got maybe a second or 2 ahead of Jack. Hulk's got a half second. That's going to be brutal at the end of this one. Deco's got himself a half second as well. And I think I want to stick with Higgsy here. He's trying to get his hard tyres up to speed. He's not really closed the gap on tap on the GP section, but I think he's going to start having a bit of pace when we get into the Nordschleife section. A little bit further back. Coming out of the pits, Scotty is ahead of Whack and Pyro. Pyro's putting way more fuel than all 3 of them, so he's dropped all the way to the back. These guys don't think know how to short shift in the Citroen, because you don't need to be using that much fuel, that's for sure. So Higgsy versus Tap. Let's stick with these guys through this fast section. If Tap holds up Higgsy, then his teammate is going to have potentially come out of the pits ahead of Higgsy, to be honest. A little bit of lifting, quite a lot of lifting actually, which you have to do on the hards, to be fair. And yeah, he's not doing much to close the gap, actually, on tap. I wonder if Tap's tyres are actually going to last until the end of lap 3, though. Look how worn they are. The end of the lap is going to be really tricky. Yeah, and Higgsy is starting to close the gap a little bit here. Oh! How'd that happen? We've seen her in the pit wall in the previous feature race. This time, just, yeah, braking a bit too late and a real low speed spin there. Having to let everyone go past before she could get going again. So that is a big mistake and a lot of points lost there for that one spin. Sargent worked his way up into 5th now, and then at the top 4 all pretty close together. Jack looks like he's keeping Captain Eli honest pretty honest. So let's go back to Tap, whose medium tyres are pretty shod. He's the only one on the mediums on the track, apart from the guys who came in, Wack, and Pyro, and Scotty. And he's starting to lose the grip now. No damage that time. Now down into first here. Sometimes you can just get a really good exit out of that corner and breeze your way past the driver ahead if they can't get the throttle down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to get to the end of this lap with enough tyres. We're only halfway through it. Bit of a dodgy corner there for Higgsy though. He's not taking these corners too well. Maybe a lack of practice on the hard tyres, maybe. It is difficult to make the adjustment though, once you go on from the softer compound to the harder one. Especially when the lap is so long. You don't know what corner's coming next. Now how much lifting's gonna have to happen here? Quite a lot from Tap. Higgsy might have a good run at him into the next braking zone. Not just yet. Alright, let's see what's going on a bit further up. Hulks, who dominated that first race with his half-second penalty now, losing a bit of time to Klinger. But the top three still very close together, so anyone could win this race between maybe the top four and Higgsy himself. No one really making any mistakes here. Mo just driving around on his own, Gunman holding off spin. And Higgsy still nowhere near Tap at this stage. And Tap might have actually got this spot on with his 3 laps on the mediums. Because they are still holding on pretty decently. And now Higgsy is finally within that crucial second, actually he's within probably half a second now. This tight twisty section with shod tyres. So this is where Higgsy's going to start losing some crucial time. Oh, good mad, he's in the wall. There's one position at least. Oh, is he in the wall twice? What's going on here? The drag just holding off spin, and he goes a little bit too deep there into the gravel trap, rejoins. That's only one position lost, so something else is about to happen. And he... What? Why couldn't we see that? Come on. Let's see. So he gets out of this gravel trap. No braking. What the hell? Kamikaze. Okay, that is one of the more interesting ways to take a corner. So Gunman was going to be on for a top 10 result, I reckon, before he did that. So anyway, back to this battle here. Tap is going to be... You can hear his tyres are absolutely crying at this point. He's only got a couple more corners before he has to pit, even though it's going to be about half a minute away. And Higgsy should blast past him on the straight, but at this point he's probably lost about 3 or 4 seconds. Oh, maybe some more, because Tap's going to be side by side with him. Actually, Tap has absolutely nothing left to fight it. This might actually help Tap, though, going a bit wide there, because he's going to have some slip. Actually, is Higgsy just going to drive out of his slip? He is. Look at that. That's the difference in the tyres between the two of them. And that's how much time Higgsy was losing. So let's go back up to Captain Eli, who's finishing his third lap, definitely coming into the pits now. Heading off Kling and Jack in third place. In they all come. Hulk's has lost a bit of time to them, so he's in fourth. Sargent just coming out of that final corner onto the GP section again and into the pits. And then Mo, pretty decent feature race once again. Every feature race has been a recovery race for Mo so far this season. And now we've got Higgsy. Is he going to be still in P1? That's the question. And it looks like it's going to be quite comfortable, actually. Cherry's going to be in second after he's doing 3 laps on the mediums. Captain Eli on his fresh mediums has come out in third, just ahead of Klinger, just ahead of Hulk. And Jack's and his Jag, where he's had to put in more fuel, has dropped down to 6th. Scotty, with a big undercut, actually makes his way back up into 7th after his big issues in the first 2 laps. Now Sargent's out in 8th. Pyro and Whack have both got themselves into the top 10 with the undercut. And Mo, after his big progress, is down in 11th. Got Spint, Tap, Gunmad, Kira and Deco rounding it out. So what is Higgsy's lead? Let's see. About 3 seconds from Cherry, who's on the softer tyres, but they are a lap older than Captain Eli's. Eli only has 2 laps to do on these mediums, so he's the lead driver of the guys on what is probably the best strategy, and he's got a half second. So as soon as I say that, that'll lose him 2 positions to Klinger and to Hulk if the gaps stay this close. Maybe even Jack can get past him. So we'll have to see what happens by the time we reach that penalty mark. So this is good news for Cherry for potentially getting his first podium here of the season. And it's great news for Higgsy as well. Klinger's currently got the fastest lap in 8:24. That's going to come down quite a lot with the medium runners on this lap who are on lap 2 of their stint. So that's Cherry, Pyro, Whack and Scotty have a good chance of getting the fastest lap on this one. And then the next time round will be everyone else's chance to get that fastest lap point. Cherry's off track. Oh, is he going to save it? He does save it. Now he's going to back everyone, well, Eli up a little bit into Klinger. Again, a little bit of good news for Higgsy. Higgsy won a race in Tier 2 last season as well, don't forget, so he's definitely capable of winning many races this season. But, yeah, we have to see. Hard tyres for another 15 minutes against medium runners all behind him trying to chase him down. What would you prefer, actually? Being on the hard tyres with 2 laps to go with about 3 seconds, 2 or 3 second gap with the medium runners chasing them down, or would you rather be in Cherry's position? Around Nurburgring, I think maybe Higgsy's in the better position. If it was on a different track, I think he'd get caught pretty quickly. But yeah, Cherry causing a bit of a queue here. Even even Hulk is pretty close behind. That's what we want. Eli nearly losing it. Now is Hulk's going to try and get past Klinger here. Hulk could potentially get the double win, actually. If he can hold it around the outside. Oh, he's being pushed off track. And he still makes the corner and he gets the position done. That was nearly a big incident. So double podium at least is on the cards here for Hulk. Everyone having to lift through the sections that are normally flat out. And Cherry looking a bit more assured through this part of the track than Eli is, actually. So he's got a comfortable second gap at the moment He's definitely going to be closing the gap onto Higgsy at this stage. You can see the gap was about 3 seconds. Now you can see Higgsy. It's maybe between 1 and 2 ahead of Cherry right now. I jinxed it. I jinxed a race from the past. So up the hill we go. How much lifting is Higgsy going to do on these hard tyres? See, even on his hard tyres, he's still 7/10 purple at this stage. Oh, what is happening here? Cherry and Captain Eli side by side. This is not a good part of the track to be side by side. What's Hulk's going to do? He's going to try and bump Eli through, and then try and follow him. They all make it, actually. Now his Hulk's going to try and go around the outside of Eli here. He needs to slot in behind. He needs to slot in behind. He's off track. I can't believe they made it. And Eli holds him off. Cherry's still pretty close. Oh! Now Cherry's going to try and get that position, take advantage, which he does straight away. It's getting a bit tense now between these guys. Klinger just waiting to capitalise on any issue. This is great for Eli with his half-second penalty. He's already gapping these guys. Oh, Hulk has a driver super close in front and super close behind. And Jack and Scotty actually up in this battle out of absolutely nowhere. So that's how quickly things can turn around for you, especially if you're in traffic, which these guys absolutely are. So there's probably a 7-way fight for this win, because Scotty's not actually that far behind Higgsy right now. Oh, Hulk is stuck a nose up, and he's actually got the position now. Cherry's going to lose out to Klinger as well. So that's a double loss there for Cherry. And he's going to have a really rough final lap as well. He's managed to get himself in a really good position, but these guys with the better tyres are not going to be patient for too long. So Hulk needs to close this gap to Captain Eli for the rest of the lap, and then he will be in P2 and be able to chase down Higgsy for that win on the last lap. Klingers wants to do the exact same thing though. Oh, Hulk's off track! And the side-by-side, this is going to end in tears, surely. Hulk's going to have to slot in just behind. Again, this is great news for Eli, who's caught up to Higgsy now as well. So let's join this little battle. Well, actually, there's nothing he can do about it because he's about to serve a half-second penalty. Now, Hulk and Kling need to bump each other through this back straight. If either of them are going to win the race, I really think that's their best chance of doing it. Eli, actually, you can see he went on the grass a little bit to serve his half-second penalty and got away with it. You got Cherry and Jack side by side, so they're gonna. Oh, Hulk's gone for it. He should have bump drafted. Should have bump drafted. They'd have easily got past Captain Eli, I think, if they had bump drafted. If not here, then on the main straight, the pit straight. But Hulk does have that position. He's up into third, back where he started the lap on. Oh, look how these two Ferraris behind are side by side, Scotty and Cherry. Jack's fallen to 8th now. Something's happened to Jack. So Jack and Cherry were side by side. Again, if they had bump drafted, they could have gotten up into P3 with the fact that the two ahead had decided to fight each other instead. So how is he losing his positions? He's off track here. Oh, he nearly bumps Cherry. Oh, it's exactly the same as what happened to Spin. Apart from he didn't actually spin himself, and Scotty gets past both of them. Sargent gets past Jack as well. Big mistake there for Jack. That's a lot of points that he's losing there. Now what's happening between Klinger and Hulk? Down into turn 1. Klinger's got the inside line. A little bit late on the brakes for Hulk, and he's completely deep there. He's in the gravel as well. And Scotty's going to get past too. And Hulk is all out of position. Oh, he's in the wall! How did that happen? From third place to the wall, let's see. Right, he's completely outbraked himself there, which is easy to do at turn 1 at Nurburgring, regardless of the layout. Now, he has to crawl around turn 2, loses traction, and then gets spun around. But yeah, when you lose traction like that and there's cars so close behind, now he's down from 3rd to 8th. Another one who's lost a huge number of points there. He's quite comfortably ahead of Pyro, so 8th might be where he finishes unless there's some dramas on this last lap, which I fully expect there will be. Now Jack going to try and get a move done to get at least one position back on Sargent here. Sargent giving him plenty of space, and he gets it. A little bit further up, Scotty is in 4th, Klinger's in 3rd. Captain Eli is trying to get the race lead off of Higgsy. And this is why I said being on the hards would have been my preference with that lead, because everyone behind is just fighting with each other and tripping over each other, and Higgsy's just been, up until this point, absolutely fine. But it's going to be tough now. He's got Eli on the inside, who's going to be braking super late for this corner. And Eli's got that lead, which it might be another victory for Eli here, you know. Jack looks like he's just gotten past Cherry. So how'd that happen? Cherry must have had a poor exit. Jack really late on the brakes there, covers off Cherry pretty nicely and gets up into 5th. So a good couple of corners there for Jack. He's up a couple of positions. Cherry now having to defend from Sargent, who is going to try and not hit the wall, and he does graze it very slightly. Now he's going to try and go the long way around again. And Sargent is past Cherry as well. Cherry with his 1 lap older tyres. Going to struggle for the rest of this lap, but he does have a big gap behind him to Hulk, who's going to recover and try and get that position off Cherry at least. So let's see how it's looking for Eli. His tyres still look very fresh. He came in as the championship leader, qualified in 15th out of 16 people. Managed to recover somewhat in the sprint. And now he's in prime position because he's in P1, a hard runner's in P2. Klinger is trying his best to catch up to Higgsy and get that position done. So this is where the action's surely going to be over the next few corners. And he's going to have a run with slip. It is a very high speed section of the track, full throttle all the way down the hill and then up the hill a little bit. Not able to get close enough at this stage. Now, we've seen a few overtakes at this next corner here, this left-hander coming up for the braking zone. But Higgsy isn't, well, he's exiting the corners well enough that Klinger can't really even get a nose alongside at this point. And Eli's not really getting away either. So Higgsy's definitely driving pretty decently on these old hard tyres. It looks like Klinger's actually got the best pace of the three of them. And where's Scotty in all this? Scotty's a little bit further back, so it looks like it's these three for the podium at this stage. You wouldn't bet on an uncertain overtake. Yeah, well, if it goes a little bit wrong, then it's like a big penalty in the stewards, isn't it? So, but now we're going up the hill again. So this is a big opportunity for Klinger up the hill. Looks like Higgsy got a great exit again, though. Scotty with the fastest lap in the teens at least. I think that's going to be beaten on this one though. Yeah, Higgsy driving away in that Audi up the hill. So I guess the Audi's strong up a hill. Now can they all make it round the corner? Yep. It's pretty much as you were. Scotty a little bit further back. Jack is in 5th. And Sarge is doing really good here in 6th place actually. Cherry still in 7th ahead of Hulk, who's closing him down. Wack was in 10th, so he's had a big issue on this. Well, he's set in 8:38 on his fast lap. So he's beating the wars there. Deco's beating the wars. Kira's beating the wars. Well, this battle for P1. Eli's looking comfortable, but a single mistake is going to lose 2 positions here for Eli. And Klinger just needs to focus on finding his way past Higgsy one way or another. If he can't perform the back straight, he should be able to get him on the back straight, but you don't want to be in that position when you've still got a couple of minutes left before you get to that point. Oh, dirty air. And Jack gets past as well. Sarge is going to get past as well. Such an easy thing to happen. This is a horrible corner, this one, this right-hander. But yeah, just a little bit too much on the grass. Too much throttle. That's going to promote Scotty, who... I don't know how he's on the podium. That's crazy. Klinger's down in 6th now. Hulk's managed to get past Cherry at some point as well. And Klinger's got loads of damage, so he might not even be able to get a position or 2 before the end. So that means it's really looking good for Eli at this stage. Because Scotty is on older mediums than him. The closest one on the same strategy as Eli is Jack, and he's a long way down in 4th. So we might see another win for Captain Eli this season in that Z4, which doesn't have many wins in ALR. So is it an inspired choice? I guess so. And Scotty with the early pit stop, is it going to backfire on him? Because is he going to lose, run out of tyres? We're on the back straight pretty much already, so potentially not. And then Jack, Sarge and Klinger super close together. We might see an overtake or 2 here. If I'm Klinger, I'm bump drafting Sarge past Jack and then trying to get Sarge in the braking zone. That's what I would be doing. Nope. He wants to just get past him all on his own. And it's actually worked. But he needs to pull back along now, because he's fully ahead of Sarge. He needs to pull back along, because Sarge is getting the faintest of slipstreams from Jack. Actually, he's decided to pull behind Klinger. If Klinger had pulled in behind Jack a bit sooner, he could have started closing the gap. Now Sarge has got a chance of getting the move done on Klinger himself. Right, anyway, Eli's come out of the final corner, and he's going to take a really solid victory here. To definitely keep the lead in the driver's standings. Higgsy P2 with the alternate strategy, really decent result for him, and Scotty somehow getting a podium here. I think he's going to be a championship challenger for sure. Jack in 4th, Klinger in 5th in the end, ahead of Sargent, and then we've got Hulk ahead of Cherry right at the end. Pyro's going to take 9th, kind of an anonymous 9th for him. Much worse round for him compared to round 1. Spin, the last one in the top 10. Mo was doing really well, and then I don't know what happened in the pits, but he came out so far back, gets 11th, and then there's a huge gap. Looks like Wack, who was down in 14th, made up a couple of positions. He's going to get 12th. Kira just ahead of Gunmad as well. So 4 points for Wack for his troubles this week. 3 points for Kira and 2 for Gunmad. And then just 1 for Tap. Or is it? Because Deco's going to try and get that point off of him. Tap's got completely dead tyres. Deco's got some tyres left. But he's out of fuel. Just a week to forget for Deco. It's a long season though. They'll all come back stronger next week. We've already had the stewards' submissions, and no one actually submitted a report this week, which was great. Let's see what the standings look like. So we've got in the drivers, we've got Captain Eli with a 6-point lead over Scotty, who's had 3 podiums out of 4 races for Scotty. Same with Captain Eli, and 2 of those have been victories. So those two with a big gap ahead of Jack in third. He's 17 points off the lead. Higgsy's 24 points off the lead. Pyro is now in fifth with 26 points off the lead. Then we've got Kling Beast, Hulked, Marty, who didn't race today, Mo Gaffer, and Whack rounding out the top 10. Ferrari have taken the lead. The 296 Ferrari have taken the lead in the constructors. That is Scotty, and it is Cherry. So they are the constructors leaders ahead of the Z4 team of Eli and Tap. And the Citroen guys, Pyro and Whack, have dropped to third place. So yeah, that's it. Monday, we got Red Bull Rings. That's going to be an exciting one. So I'll try and stream a little